On today's episode of Open Box Policy, we talk about sharing. Well, we talk about sharing fingers with Cowboys and Carnies. That's going to be part of what we talk about.
Carney finger in my mouth.
Coincidentally, that turns into us talking about our public versus private persona. Yeah. How sometimes in private we might do things that we don't do in public or at work.
And then also, second coincidentally, it turns into the problems that Anna and I were having when I first moved down to Atlanta.
Yeah, Devin almost got kicked out, everybody. He almost got kicked out, which is...
but, everything worked out great, and we're all so happy.
Well, sometimes you have to go through... You got to go through some strife to...
What?
Find the other side of the rainbow? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
All I'm saying is you got to climb the mountain to get to the top, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, tell us about your relationship problems. Hit us up on our socials. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at OBP_raw.
Or just don't, because we don't want to feel sad about your life. So if you want to, send us an email, obppodcast@gmail.com. It's good, huh? It's awesome.
It is. The first two episodes, we were like, this is kind of dumb. But then the third episode happened, and we were like, holy fuck.
I know, and it just keeps getting... What episode are you on?
We just finished... I want to say the 6th episode. It's the episode where they go to the funeral home. And it's all the whole episode's like basically a one-take shot.
I love that. I remember reading about that before it aired, and it was basically like 2 long shots.
Yeah, except they kind of ran out of ideas, and they started like circling around the group, and they did it like 5 times in a row, and I was like, holy fuck, I'm getting dizzy.
Yeah, but have you seen all like the background stuff you're supposed to pick up on?
A lot of
stuff moves in the background. A lot of creatures and things that change positions.
Yeah, like creatures here in the the background. Yeah, there's like statues that move and stuff. It's good.
So when I first heard about it, I was always told to pay attention to the background. But so like every scene, I'm not really looking at the character. I'm just looking at the background. I picked up on stuff that I think you're supposed to pick up on, but as far as like little things, I don't think I've seen. If that makes sense.
Who's your favorite character?
The chick with the gloves.
Obviously.
Yeah, by far. That was episode 3, and that was when I was like, holy shit, this show's good.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, my least favorite character is the older sister.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over Adam's blowing of his nose. Hold on, let's make sure he's done before you say. Who? Sorry.
I said my least favorite favorite character is the older sister.
Me too.
Yeah, really? I fucking hate her.
Here's my problem. I don't like her face.
I don't like her face either.
I don't know what it is. It's not she's bad looking. Her face bothers me when she talked. And I talk in past tense because I watched this like forever ago.
I also kind of don't like the way that she was written. But the chick with the gloves, by far my favorite.
I think she's almost everybody's favorite that I've talked to.
Yeah.
We actually just started watching the most recent season of Peaky Blinders.
So I started.
Don't tell me about it.
Holy
shut
shit.
the fuck up.
I will tell you that. I'm not going to tell you anything.
I just started it.
I will say this. Glenn's dad and stepmom came into town from Australia, and they stayed with us for a week this past weekend. Meryl loves binging shows just like we all do, and she was on Netflix watching something, and it showed, and we went over Peaky Blinders, and I was like, you would love this, and she was like, no, and I was like, listen, somebody told me I would love it, and I kind of went, yeah, fuck you, but then I watch it and I'm obsessed. So she was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm not obsessed.
So I walked away and I went and worked on my computer, and I picked the kids up from school and I was doing stuff, and Glenn had talked to her about it, and then Glenn came home and I put the kids to bed, and I finally realized she'd been watching it for like 5 hours. And she's like, listen, I didn't want to like this First episode, okay. Second episode, all right. Third episode, obsessed. And she went through all 4 seasons in 1 week at our house.
Holy shit.
And she started the new season as we were starting the new season, which we've been waiting for like 2 years for. So.
Yeah, that is an unbelievable amount of programming, TV programming.
Yeah. But I mean, she's retired.
It's okay.
She's
it's not
yeah.
It's not great. And I'm sure, like, if I gave it a little bit more attention, but when I get home, a lot of times I can't give it any attention.
How far did you get into it?
I'm on, like, episode 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Of the first season?
Of the first season?
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's amazing. I mean, I'm
right where they finally get the legal horse racing.
Yeah, and that's when it starts getting. I don't like that era of program. I don't.
Me either.
I've never liked it. I really had to suffer through the first 2 episodes. Not that the first episodes were bad, but this is not my thing, and I'm obsessed. And there's so many good actors in it.
Oh, the acting is superb.
Adrian Brody shows up, and freaking Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. It's just
what they do in the show that I have always really enjoyed about period pieces is instead of it being 100% period, they keep playing modern music over the period piece. So there's a few modern songs that they play over it, and I like that because it.
Oh, I thought you were saying that bothered you, and I was like,
no, I love that.
Okay.
No, I love it because it makes it a little bit more fun and a little bit more relatable.
I don't know if you picked it up, but every couple episodes they do the opening song, and a different artist does it, and I've downloaded all of them because I love that song so much.
I love it, and I mean they don't use a lot of music during the show, but I mean it's good.
You got to keep going.
It's not great.
It gets great. Yeah. Like
so, the last
like,
episode of season 1 is really fucking good. And
yes,
and then from season 2 on, you're like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, at season 2, every episode leaves you like, oh fuck.
Some of the fight scenes are really impressive. I love the actor Sam Neill that plays the detective or the director of the police.
He's Australian. He's Australian, I think. That's what Meryl said. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yes, he's Australian.
In the show or in real life?
No, in real life.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's a lot.
He's Jurassic Park. Yeah.
There's a lot of really good actors in there.
He is Jurassic Park.
What's his name?
He's also in The Mouth of Madness. Who, if you've never seen a great like Halloween style,
yes, I've seen that.
In The Mouth of Madness is a great movie.
Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is one of my favorite characters.
Tom Hardy.
He's in Peaky Blinders.
He appears
awesome.
in the second season.
He's in second season and
all the way through the 4th.
Sprinkles and he goes to the 3rd and into almost the second to last episode of the 4th, and he's awesome.
I haven't seen the 5th season, so I don't know if he's in it yet.
Well, if you finish the 4th, you'd know if he's in it or not.
I was trying not to spoil it for Adam. God damn it!
Why would you say something like that then? God,
you're not going to spoil it for me
because he doesn't.
Adam
He doesn't like joy in his life. He's given up on Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
Peaky fucking Blinders.
Peaky I'm Arthur fucking Shelby. That guy has anger problems.
Fucking Blinders.
Yeah, I don't like none of that.
But you would be doing
I don't like none of that.
It just doesn't mean anything to me. I did hear something that upset me. The Breaking Bad.
I've never seen one episode.
The Breaking Bad is incredible. It's incredible. But the Breaking Bad Netflix movie, I know a few people that have seen it, and they just kind of said it's not great.
So it's
just not good.
Here's the funny thing: I saw a lot of people who were diehard Breaking Bad fans tag that they were watching it, but I never saw a follow up. Like that was fucking awesome. It was like watching it now, and then there was never anything after that. Like that was great. That was awesome.
I think it kind of pissed people off that it wasn't great. It
was just a story that didn't need to be told.
Were the two main? I know the hot dude was in it. Was the other dude in it?
Are you talking about Jesse Pinkman?
I don't know who was who. There's the guy who was a teacher.
Yes.
And then the other guy who's like
his student,
methy but like crazy hot, but in real life hot, not in the show hot.
I'm guessing you're talking about Jesse Pinkman, Aaron Paul.
Yes, Aaron Paul. There we go. So were they both in the movie?
No, well,
or was it
it's just Aaron Paul.
Spoiler: at the end of Breaking Bad, Walter White dies.
Oh, well, that's
you're
fine.
such a douche. What if people haven't seen that yet?
Okay,
well,
let's go back. When did that show end? 2012?
Yeah,
and we
give
find
a
out
spoiler.
episode 1 that he's got terminal cancer. So yeah, like you find out episode 1 the guy's gonna die.
I mean, if we have to, we can give a spoiler alert at the beginning. But
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
we're not gonna give
I
a spoiler
watched
alert.
one
No,
episode.
fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Just like Walking Dead, I can't do either one of them.
So something
Oh my God, you're wearing matching socks today.
I know it's rare. It is actually rare. It is rare because I get so tired
He
of trying
never
to
wears
find matching
matching.
socks. I just put
You
on
don't get to see it, Devin, but whenever
whatever's
I'm
in
here,
front of me.
I don't.
Whatever's in.
Nothing.
People think, oh, he's
pants
so
open
kooky.
still. Pants open
He's
still.
so kooky. He's so funny. He wears
Yeah. Oh
unmatching
my God.
socks.
Adam lives life on the edge.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I just
Look at
couldn't
him.
find a match because I don't have somebody doing my laundry for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the punchline, and I'm going to kind of fill it in and tell you all the story. I sent a text to you all. I shared.
I know I don't like this. It makes me feel uncomfortable because I have a finger story too.
Yeah, I shared a finger with a cowboy today. So
Okay.
that's the
where this is
punchline.
going.
So
Can I do something real quick and then you can keep going? I will also say I've had a Carney.
Oh, please don't do this. Wait, are you gonna say something about a finger inside you or something like that from a
Oh
cowboy?
my God! I was gonna give a punchline.
All right. Yeah, do it.
The
Give us
Carnies. I had a Carney's finger in my mouth.
a Carney's finger in your mouth.
So
okay.
there's my punchline.
All right.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Cool.
So-
Devin, think of a finger story. All right.
All right,
so
cool.
so
Think of 5.
we yeah. I'm on my way to work and I realized this morning that I was going to be a little late. No big deal. I work at a place where we're very fluid. Very fluid. But I forgot that I had a meeting this morning. So, and a meeting that I needed to be prepared for. So, I have a very fast car. So, I'm driving to work in a very aggressive, in and out of traffic kind of way.
In his Volkswagen Golf.
And in a Volkswagen Golf. Yeah. Yeah.
I actually didn't notice your car was your car in the driveway. I actually pulled in the driveway and I was like, oh shit, he has a girl here. And then I parked on the side. I almost called Glenn. I was like, oh shit, there's a chick here. I can't wait to see who it was. And I
Yeah.
close and I was like, fuck.
Nah, it's just me.
Just you.
Yeah, it's just me.
God
just
damn it.
Adam
Check
and
my
his
tire
chick
pressure,
car.
please.
Yeah.
Second husband.
So I am basically. I am hauling ass through traffic, and I come up to a stoplight, and there's 4 or 5 people in front of me, and the light turns green, and every one of these assholes just sits there. No one's honking. No one does anything. And then they pull away from this stop sign like they deliberately wanted to go slow. It's just it's absurd. So that I am in the left-hand lane, and there's a turning lane next to me. So I was like, fuck it. I don't care. No one's in the turning lane. I got in the turning lane and just went around all of these assholes. Like, I am not going to sit here and do this shit. I'm going to be.
first.
Well,
should
you're
last,
late and already
bro.
fucking angry. And
So
in
I
a
get-
fast car, so you're like, watch me.
And it's like
go.
instant fucking taneous. When I go around them, I don't go around slowly. I go around like I've got a fucking
If I went around
thrusters
that,
on the back of my car.
I would be like, sorry,
Whoosh.
sorry, excuse me, sorry,
Yeah.
hi, I'm so sorry. Can you let me in?
So
please?
I
Adam
haul,
went full Fast and Furious on those
a
cars.
big fuck you.
I haul ass past the 3 or 4 people that are in front of me, and I think someone in the right lane had seen that I was doing that.
And they did that thing where they try to block you off.
So when
love it.
when I get around, this asshole comes out of the slow lane and he gets into the fast
I
lane.
love that though. I'm sorry, but I like
and he
it.
blocked me. Well, he's in this huge gray, like overwrought, over fat, this massive fucking gray pickup truck, and he's got cowboy fucking paraphernalia all over it. It even says cowboy no less than 4 times on his truck. We get it.
In case you forgot
fucking
we were in
redneck.
Tennessee.
Like, we get it. You fucking redneck. You're a cowboy. So I ride his ass like a growth. Like I was attached to it. And I
But
just
why? But was his truck shit, or was it nice? My
no,
point
it was a
is,
nice truck. He was just being a douche.
oh, that's fine. It's not, my thought was
Like, just
when
get out of my fucking way.
I understand, but I thought you were talking about a shitty truck, and
No.
like if you follow, like there's nothing hurting him to slam on his brakes than hurt your nice car.
Well, but I'm quicker than he is. He's a dumb old redneck cowboy.
I'm
so
quicker than he is.
yeah, I contemplated.
draw.
So here's the deal. I'll admit this. I contemplated going around him, but he actually was starting to speed up a little bit. He was just speeding up slowly and moving around traffic, so I can handle that.
So
But
you were like, he's a little bit pissed, but not too.
but he's
pissed.
still moving. So And he did what I think is a respectful thing. Once he got around the traffic that he was next to, he got his ass over in the slow lane. He hadn't even gotten 2 tires over into the slow lane before he hung his hairy white hand out and like forcefully gave me the fucking finger out of his
Wait,
window.
how much time has passed since he's cut you off between when he did that?
Between cutting me off and we went over a hill and started going down a hill, I would say maybe like 30 or 40, maybe a minute
That's
and a
a
half
long time to hold
of
on to
me
it.
just riding his ass.
But at the same time, if you're riding his ass, he's getting more fucking pissed. He's like, this asshole who I tried to basically tell him to not do this shit is now riding my... I do the same thing, to be fair.
It was almost like a toll booth. Like he didn't like stick his hand out and do it. He put his hand out like with his elbow out, and then he shot his arm down real fast. You know what I mean? So it was like a fucking
like a drop
It was
arm.
a forceful.
Yeah.
It was a fucking forceful.
Yeah, and he hung it out. It was shaking. He shook it at me like.
Can you imagine being that mad about something?
So I gunned it and then got right next to him, and I leaned down into my window and I looked up at he was wearing a fucking cowboy hat, a rodeo vest, and a big rodeo shirt. I swear to God.
Vest.
You know the rodeo shirts that are really loud colors, and then they have like patches on them.
And tassels.
No. That's
Oh,
like
sorry, my bad. That was
that's
too
goofy
far.
shit. No, it
That
had
was
like
too far.
it had like patches on it, like for sponsorships.
Right.
And he was wearing that thick kind of rodeo vest. So he looked at me and he was, "Fuck you." And I leaned down into my window and I just grinned at him, and I held my hand up and I flicked him off and then fucking gunned it and just hauled ass and was like, "You fucking old redneck cowboy."
That's the
So I
best thing to
shared-
do to those
I
types
shared
of people.
a finger.
That is the best thing to do to those types of people who are just like so angry they're flipping you off and everything, is just to like either wave at them and smile or give them a
Exactly.
thumbs up or something.
Yeah,
Hell
like,
yeah. That gets
yay,
under their
yeah.
skin so bad.
When
It
you-
drives them crazy.
When you texted us tonight about sharing a finger with a cowboy, I just thought,
It reminds you of 1995.
well, in 1995,
break.
I was 11, so
Ugh.
probably.
Ooh,
Yeah,
let's
that's
walk away
great,
from that
Adam.
one.
That's
Yeah.
great. You want to talk about my 11-year-old sharing fingers?
Ugh.
Yeah,
Probably not.
let's walk away from that before we get canceled.
Yeah. So you said you shared a finger with a.
I thought I've told this story to you guys.
Yeah, a carny put his finger in your mouth.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Tell me why.
That's a logical question.
Yeah, no, it was fine. No, it wasn't fine. It was fucking awful. It was the worst. It was awful. I mean, I was 20 and went to my Indiana State Fair. Yay. And went on the
Shout
mega
out.
slide.
What's a mega slide?
It's that huge slide that you go down on a burlap sack and it goes.
I was about to say you
bim,
put that
bim.
fucking potato sack on your
Oh,
leg.
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
I
right.
was dating, I was with my boyfriend at the time, and we walked up there, and I'm looking all cute, being 20, you know, thinking I'm the shit, whatever. Give him a potato sack, and the carny guy did the whole, "Hey, you got something on your shirt." And I looked down to go, "What?" And as I said, "What?" he put his finger up, and it went into my mouth hole. And then I
Your
went,
mouth hole?
"Ugh!" And then closed my mouth hole. And then I went, "Ugh!" And my boyfriend just looked at me and went, "Zing."
Zing.
And so then I
Yes.
went down the
I
slide,
want
and
to start
that
saying
was
that to Anna.
fucking
Yeah.
awful.
No, that's good. That's a good story, Devin.
Was it?
That actually is a good story. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it's good
Well, I
for
mean,
you
it's good
guys.
for us.
It's good for you guys.
Zing.
Yeah. Zing.
It was like his favorite word of the time, and he would, yeah, it's, you know, God.
Devin,
it was
you
the
have
worst.
to have a finger story. You have to follow this
You
up
have
with
to have a
something.
finger
Man,
story.
come on, don't put me on the spot like that.
Come on, finger.
I mean,
finger.
one time
Yeah.
I was at this strip club and I lost my ring inside a stripper's ass. The only thing it was a male strip club.
Was it a pinky ring?
I don't have a fucking finger story, okay? I wasn't
Well,
prepared for this. I do
yeah.
have a story though. What would you guys do if you come home and open your mailbox and there are cookies from your neighbors? You don't know which neighbor. Would you eat it or would you not?
Throw them away.
Eat them.
Throw them away.
I fucking
would eat
ate.
them.
I fucking ate every single
I
one of
would
them,
eat
bro.
them.
You're crazy.
I guess if I'm not a bad person and don't feel like anybody's trying to kill me, I would 100% eat them. I wouldn't let my kids eat them, but I would 100% fucking eat them. I'd be like, yes.
If you
let's
have
do
the
it.
audacity to leave food in my mailbox, or you're so lazy that you can't walk to my front door,
But what if if they did go to his front door, knocked on his door, and nobody was there, and they were like, "No one's here. Let's put him in the mailbox." I would.
I would rather
shit.
them break into my house and set them on my kitchen counter.
How is that any different than like going trick or treating? Really, I know there's wrapped candies and things like that, but
because when you go trick or treating, the kids don't go up to people's mailboxes, open them up, and look for candy.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you do have strangers giving you sometimes little bags of like candy and cookies and things like that, and nobody's questioning that shit.
I'm gonna start getting like Butterfingers and Snicker bars and stuff, and just putting them in my mailbox and hoping that my mailman or mailwoman just takes
Let me
them.
know when that day is, because I'm just
That
gonna.
would be
I'm
great,
just. I'm
actually.
just gonna be
Yeah.
there every mail day.
I'm gonna get a
candy.
Sharpie and write "I'm watching you" on it.
Oh God.
Okay, well, that went a little too far.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
went. Yeah.
But no, luckily I knew the story behind the cookie. My neighbors had like a big wedding on Sunday at their house, and they had a bunch of parked cars in the road. So they were like, "Sorry for the inconvenience." Blah
Oh,
blah
that's
blah.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
So,
nice.
but as soon as I picked
now
them up
it's
out of the
nice.
mailbox,
Now you would eat the cookies.
right?
Now you would eat the mailbox cookies.
No, I would still throw them at their front door.
No, you would not. You just said it's so nice.
I would light those cookies on fire and throw them.
Adam would be like, "Why didn't
No.
you invite me to the wedding?"
But
oh,
no,
I did
it
that
just made me
today.
think.
I did that today.
No.
We talked about that last time. We were like, if someone doesn't invite you somewhere, like, how does it make you feel?
Thanks
Like,
for the invite.
Oh wait,
Yes.
wait. Who were you? The recipient?
No, I did. I was pulling into my work parking lot, and I saw these two guys that I'm friends with leaving together. And I pulled up next to them and rolled my window down. I was like, where the fuck are you all going? They said, "Oh, we're going to dinner at this nice restaurant." And I was like, "Thanks for the fucking invite." And I just tore ass out of the parking lot and was like, "Fuck you."
I mean, that's justified.
You're like Joe Dirt.
and
Yeah.
also that they could be like, "Oh, Adam." Like-
well, that's what they do, because they're like, I mean, I didn't really want them to invite me. They get it. I'm just fucking with them.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I'd like to, like the last topic or the last thing we talk about, I want to talk about your public persona
Yeah.
versus your private or
Now-
your home persona.
Before we go into that, I need like more detailed of what you mean, because I've kind of lost my identity.
Give me your definition of public.
So-
versus
I've
personal.
lost my identity
But
from being a wife and a mother.
not
That I'm not
always.
sure
Not-
exactly
I've-
what that is.
I've been around you in quote unquote public, and you're a little different.
Am I? I would love
Yeah.
to hear it, because I don't feel like I feel it or
You're a
see
little
it.
bit more polished. You're probably not as profane. Most of us aren't as profane.
Probably
And
not.
I
as,
mean,
probably not as snippy.
it's probably not as snippy, and a
Yeah,
lot. And I mean,
that
like, but I've seen you at home, like in a t-shirt, like you take your bra off, like you're just sitting there, like in like kind of like
Get the fuck out of here, Adam.
like comfy. You're just in comfy pants and barefoot, and like all like the makeup's off, the hair's back.
but
It's
is
like
that like a? Is that like?
that's part of your persona.
Is that?
your physical representation of
I
yourself
guess,
is part
okay.
of your?
Well,
yeah.
I guess the way I guess when we talked about this over
How you
text
act.
shortly, I
Well-
thought it was more a personality thing,
Well,
but I
that's-
guess it
Yeah.
all kind of
That's
yeah.
part of it. But I mean,
Yeah.
you have to think about it this way: that when you dress up, or when you dress down, or when you dress sideways, or however you dress, a lot of times your personality will kind of follow the way you dress. I mean, it's just like a psychological thing. Like if you're wearing a suit, like you have a tendency to kind of be.
When I got married, I was classy as fuck. And we
That's what I'm saying.
all know I'm not classy as fuck. But I was classy as fuck that
Neither
day.
one of us are ever going to agree when you say anything like that. We're just going
What
to shake
class,
our head and go,
classy as fuck?
"Yeah, no." When you go, and we all know I'm not classy as
You
fuck.
have
Yeah.
to you
We're
have
not going
to
to
shake
catch us in that trap,
We're
Jamie.
not going to affirm and be like, "Yeah, we know you're not
Yeah,
classy."
see my death eyes? You have to go, yeah, you're classy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We'd be like, "No, Jamie,
Yeah.
no."
Thank you guys.
You're always so classy.
That's so nice, thank you.
Yeah, you're always so classy.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
You guys the best.
So this happened recently. So this happened. I am.
Like you had
I had
thing.
a very personal experience with this, and we all have it. Just quantifying it and actually recognizing it can be difficult. But at work, I'm not a whole lot different than I am on the podcast. A little less profane, maybe a little less jokey. But I go in and I train
a little
people.
more relaxed,
and
probably. Well, here, sorry.
Yeah, I'm more relaxed. But I have to go in and train, and I have to go in and like talk to people and do all this stuff. So I went into this training class, and I'm going to give you a very abridged version of this. I'm telling them how it sounds when I'm on the phone with people and how some of the scenarios will go. So I basically said, imagine I call someone that has no idea who I am, and they don't know Adam Sanderson or my company name from anything. But I call and I'm like, hey, Devin, this is Adam with XYZ, and I just wanted to make sure you're okay. I got a referral, and I want to check on you and see what I can do to help you. And that person's like, who the fuck are you?
Fuck off.
Who the fuck is company XYZ, and why in the fuck are you calling me? How did you get my info? Who gave you my info?
You can't be like, fuck off.
So I said that, and everyone's kind of laughing, and they're like, oh, wow, like you really take phone calls like that? I said, every day of the week. My people, my employees take phone calls like that every day. They need context. They need to have info. They need to know. They can say, hey, Jennifer, you were referred to me by this person. And then it's recognition. They say, yeah, okay,
Oh, I have a friend named Jimmy.
They told me that you were going to call. Conversation's totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. So I'm telling stories like that, and there's a few times when I make a joke and I might be like, I mean, you can do it this way, you can do it that way, but I'm going to be honest, I kind of don't fucking care. Like, however you do it, and as long as you're giving me your business, I am going to knock it out of the park. So that is about as profane as I was.
Yeah.
Well, some guy ended up leaving, or some girl, I can't remember who it was. They ended up leaving this training class and saying that they had found a job somewhere else. Well, it's only natural for us to do an exit interview. So in that exit interview, we already knew ahead of time that they were probably going to find a job somewhere else because we had an idea, because this is a small industry.
What's the point of the exit interview, though, to see if there's something
that
wrong
we can
with the
improve
training
on.
program? Okay.
Something that we can improve on. They brought me up. Never happened before. I've been managing for a year. I've been going into training classes for 6 years. It's never happened. He left and said, that
motherfucker.
He talked, there was some guy they brought in, and he was really vulgar and profane, and he said all this stuff, and so that, like, I get talked to, and I took it personally. They called me into an office, and they were like...
Did he name you by name?
He named me by name. And
damn.
They said that he had complained, and they were like, you really need to polish up your exterior, you need to polish up, and I said, there is no denying that I should probably polish up a little bit, but I take it personal that someone told me, college-educated, 40-year-old, like professional man, who might use a little bit of profanity, that I'm vulgar.
Well, I mean,
like, what are you, a fucking nun?
I mean, even you and me and Glenn hanging out when we're just friends and has nothing to do with work, I would never say that you were vulgar ever. We may cut up and like cuss, but we are not vulgar.
No.
Like, I've never been like, holy, did you hear what fucking Adam just said? Holy shit.
Yes.
Ever.
The guy that used to be on the podcast, Josh, he was vulgar.
I would agree.
He was vulgar.
That is the definition of vulgar.
Yes, that Josh, yes. Please go back and listen, as a side note, to some of our earlier episodes when we had a different co-host.
Episode 32 or lower.
Yeah, it was Josh being vulgar. But so it made me really start to think. I've been thinking about it over the last week that I have a very relaxed, goofy, fun-loving, private persona. But when I'm in public, it is a little different. Sometimes it's staggeringly different. It's more professional. It's more.
Are you talking, when you say public, are you talking in a work sense or just in public in general?
Yeah, that's true.
Because for the most part,
so let's say work then.
Okay, I was going to say, because for the most part,
in public,
my interaction with you
is public.
Well, public kind of, but we don't really, we have 2 kids at home, so a lot of our interaction is you coming to our house and all of us hanging out. There's not a lot of going out in so-called multiple people public. But
and here's a perfect example of even me having a different persona. And I want to hear y'all's perspective, but in front of Jamie's kids, Jamie and Glenn will periodically use a little bit of profanity.
I mean, my kid called his Barbie an asshole today.
Yeah,
so
but,
we use it. But
my kids,
obscene. No, my kids know that I'll yell at something, be like, fuck that, and I'll be like, don't use my words. Both of my kids know not to use them. Porter is just 3, so like today he called his Barbie an asshole, and I was like, what'd you say?
Well, that's
hilarious.
He was like,
the Barbie being an asshole?
Well, probably to him because he's fucking 3, but I was like, you don't use that, and he looked at me, he goes, asshole, And I go, stop. He goes,
Oh my God.
Mom. I was saying ass, mom. And I was like, you fucking dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I grew up in a house with no profanity.
Well, so did I.
But with my
And so
household,
I don't use it around your kids very much.
Well, and me and Glenn use it, but here's the beauty of it. At least Elle, she's 7, and Porter also. They both know they aren't supposed to use it. If I yell in traffic like those fucking assholes, I always yell, "Don't use mom's words," and they both go, "Okay." But Elle never uses it.
Or I'll
Porter's
beat your
3.
ass.
Porter, yeah, or I'll fucking lock you in the goddamn cellar.
But
no,
that's I try not to use profanity.
You do.
around your
You do
kids.
better than me and Glenn.
Well, and like we'll be in the car and Glenn will use profanity. There have been times that when I first met you all, when I actually asked Glenn, like, hey, is it okay? Like, I don't want to like use profanity in front of your kids. Like, do you all? And he's like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, it's all right. You know, like, and
fucking cunt.
yeah. So, but even then, you realize that, of course, once you have kids, and maybe my parents cussed around me all the time and I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
Because you kids just don't remember
Well,
it, you know. But
yeah, that's true.
It's not like y'all cuss around your kids all the time, but I do. I will. You can turn your persona. It has numerous settings.
Yeah.
It has front of the class training people.
Well,
it
I
has
mean,
like getting coffee and goofing off, and
you've been
got
to our house and used even the word shit, and you just go like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and we both kind of go, "Just, it's fine."
It's not that big a deal.
It's not, because we use it around them, so when we say it, they know they aren't supposed to say
Exactly.
it. And rather than a shock value, where I grew up, if anybody said the word shit from the time I was born till I was like 18, it was like,
I'd get killed.
She's
Yeah.
never heard those words. Virgin
exactly.
ears.
That's how it was. I think I heard my dad say the fuck word. The
fuck word.
Sorry. Say the word fuck maybe 3 times in my entire life until I turned about 30. And then
Nice.
now he uses it all the time because he has 3 growing children. But like, I
That's the
never heard
threshold.
them say that. Yeah. And now he's just like, fuck, 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 fuck. So.
Yeah.
So
my
tell
mom
me-
didn't care when I was a kid.
So what, Devin?
My mom didn't care when I was a kid. She just called me like smart ass, and she didn't care about cussing around me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't allowed to use it until I was like late in my teenage years.
So
you know,
that's
and
kind
only
of
if
the
I had,
same
like, a
as me.
reason. Yeah, only if I had a reason, you know.
So did your mom make it clear that if she used those words, you weren't supposed to?
For
Or
a
you
little
just-
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'd say when I hit about 14 or something like that, I was able to like, think about what I was going to say clearly.
And that's
And,
kind of that's a
right.
good age for that. Like,
Yeah,
you're
14
going
or
to- yeah.
15. Whenever you start driving, like obviously you're in control of your words.
Or just
you know?
going through puberty and just like, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
my whole thing is that we're not big cussers in our house, me and Glenn, at all. But I get a little bit of road rage, but it's mainly yelling and being like, and every time I will say a cuss word, I'll say, don't say what I say. And they both go, okay. And Elle's 7, and Elle has not said a cuss word in like 4 years. She didn't when she was younger because she didn't understand what it meant. So she knows the bad words in our house. I mean, they're not even allowed to say dumb and stupid in our house, or they get a timeout because...
Really?
Yeah. I grew up dumb. My mom is a special needs teacher, so we grew up being told that dumb and stupid and retarded are not okay words. So both of my kids know that none of those words are okay, along with all of the other cuss words. Now, Porter being 3, every once in a while he'll, like I said, wander off, and he'll hear him behind a wall go like, asshole. And I'll be like, what'd you say? And he'll be like,
Like a little golem.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And he knows what he's doing. He knows he's not supposed to say it. And I'll be like, don't say that again, or you'll be in timeout. And then he'll say it again, or he'll say shitbag, which I never have said shitbag. He just, but
Well, but tell
Are
me,
they allowed to say sucks?
yes.
They
There's a
are,
lot-
but they're not allowed to say dumb or stupid?
They also say they won't say oh my god. They'll
you
say
all are
oh my
hijacking
gosh.
this shit.
Sorry. Yes.
Just
sorry.
fucking hijacked it.
Sorry. Jesus fucking
I was-
Christ, you
I
fucking
was,
asshole.
focused on the
motherfucker.
words that Jamie's won't let her kids say.
So tell me, I mean, you kind of talked about it. I even have recognized that you have a public and a private persona. Like, can you think of anything? I mean, I know your life's a little different now because you stay at home with your kids, but
Yeah, that.
can you think of anything that's happened to you recently where you were obviously putting on?
But
like a
here's
different
my
face?
problem is that, like, and Devin might be better at this than me when it comes to that, but like after I've had kids, everything kind of meshes together. Like when it comes to, you just give very little shit to like what people think, what people say, how you're perceived. And I'm sure there's many times, but I give far less my public persona than I did before I had kids, because who am I impressing? Like, I'm happy at home. I have my kids. I'm impressing my husband. Yeah. But I just give little shits. You know, I do things, and I try to act like the proper mom at school and things like that, but
okay, so that would be a good one. So, like, when you're around, like, all the other school moms, I mean, or you're around, like, some bougie kids' moms, like, you might turn it on a little bit.
Well, and that's the funny part is that
you're talking to the principal or something.
Well, Elle is in a arts.
Your kid's shitting the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, Elle is in an art school, and a lot of the parents there are very open to things. Porter is in a Mother's Day Out program at a church. So that's where
watch that shit.
It's there.
Yes,
so
it gets a little dicey. So whereas I normally could wear whatever I want, I will actually make an effort to, when I go to pick up Porter, make sure like I'm not wearing a cleavage shirt now, right?
No.
But I wouldn't wear this into the church because I feel like I would get eyes on me.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Nobody would say anything because they're, Jesus and stuff. But
Jesus is always listening.
But it's weird. It's weird being a mom. You have a lot of judgy people, and parents you think want to be your friend are just being nice people. And then when you're like, oh, let's get the kids together and hang out, there's just dead silence. It's a whole nother social class to be a mom and like have mom friends. It's very weird. I don't really need mom friends, but when it comes to Elle and having her friends, I don't know, it gets weird.
Makes sense.
It's weird.
What about you there, D-bag?
I mean...
God, D-bag?
Yeah, Devin, D-bag.
Yeah, I know who you were talking about.
It's my middle name is Bag. This is Devin Bag. Just my guess.
Devin Bag.
You said that so defeatedly. Your face.
It's with like... 2 G's though, so it looks distinguished.
Right.
B-A-G-G.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Well, I listen to.
But I want to hear what Devin has to say.
I mean, so obviously, like, what plays a big part in this is who you're going to be around. Like, obviously, if I'm driving, going to Walmart, and I'm walking around in Walmart, I'm not going to have a very different persona about me than when I'm like hanging out with my friends or something like that. Yeah. But, like going to work or something like that, I mean, you have to be PC with everything. I can't go in there and say, God damn it, every day, But like, it definitely depends on the group of people with me.
Do you
like
think...
if I'm hanging around my friends' parents or something like that, obviously I'm going to be like
totally different.
Tidy.
I'll be perfect word. That's perfect.
Oh my God, you were so delicate and sweet when you came and saw Glenn's parents.
Oh, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were like, I don't want to eat too much mashed potatoes.
Well,
I don't want too much chicken.
I was also
wonderful.
tired. I didn't feel good. And look, Glenn talked about this recently. I'll mention this. I'm just gonna make me teary eyed. Like,
oh no,
like Glenn's dad. Like he's in his twilight. He's in his twilight a little bit. And like I saw Glenn's dad this time, and even though I love him and he's, I mean, I really do. Like there have been a lot of times we've been outside and I was like, man, he's just a good man.
Oh, he's
a good man.
Amazing.
And one of the another reasons why I want to meet your parents. But
you haven't met my parents, have you?
No.
God.
I haven't had the opportunity to meet your parents.
Yeah, you've had like 3 opportunities and you've never made yourself available. So comment down, Adam.
I know.
Anyway, go back.
There's always been something going on.
I know. Let's go back to what you were talking about.
Glenn's dad is. The last time I saw him, he probably was a little bit more lively, and he just seemed kind of exhausted. And his wife or his partner Meryl is just so sweet, and she's always so kind to me. And she's super intelligent, and I'm super attracted to that. Like, have you ever met like an older woman that you find yourself like, not like sexually attracted to, but like you're just very attracted, like you're
emotionally attracted to her.
Yeah, and
intellectually attracted.
Intellectually attracted to her, and like I gave them both hugs and kisses and like shook Glenn's dad's hand and it just I love like my elders. I love people that are older than me because they can impart so much wisdom because they can look at you and go, you are so fucking stressed. And I am telling you right now, it doesn't fucking matter.
Right, Glenn?
No one gives a shit. Glenn's dad filed for fucking bankruptcy, like lost everything at one point, right?
Yeah.
And
he raised 3 children, started a new company, and now it's one of those things where, God, you just think like this is my life now, and then you look at people like him who have popped out. Not him, but have had 3 children, bankruptcy, start a new company, like living the high life, and he works fucking hard. And
it's definitely humbling.
It is humbling, but they also have so much perspective to give you.
They do.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I was like super sweet to them, and I mean, you're a different persona or whatever, but
they were excited to see you. They were like, "How bad I'm getting over here."
Yeah, well, and I like that. It makes me happy that people are excited to see me. But I mean, like Devin, you went from Home Depot, which was it's a really tough transition for me. I'm gonna guide you a little bit. It was a really tough transition for me to go from working in a warehouse style environment to working in a corporate style environment. Now you're at Waffle House, and there was a time there when you were unemployed. Going from being unemployed and then getting another job is tough because you get set in your ways very fast. So you have had very recent and very pertinent experiences with your public versus private versus work persona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of used my unemployed time to kind of reset myself. Of course, there was a period, man, of like 2 or 3 months where I just got into like a real big slump and I just didn't want to do anything. But like, honestly, like Anna and I started having some problems. I think this is the first time I told you guys this.
Yeah.
But Anna and I started having some problems just because I wasn't doing shit, you know?
Well,
I didn't know that. Did y'all really have problems?
Well, I mean, isn't that natural though? You know?
It is, yeah. Because it's like one person's working their ass off and I'm just doing shit around the house.
Gaining weight.
Well, and I think it's a natural progression that every relationship takes, no matter what the extent is, and no matter who is the one getting that. I mean, no matter what, every single relationship has that sort of battle of like you're not doing enough. But
And most of it was just the situation that we were in, you know? Like, I was unemployed. I didn't have very much drive at one point to even do anything. And I think that's what she was most disappointed in, was not seeing me, like, strive for something.
Yeah, you're not taking an initiative.
Right. There's no passion.
Yeah, there's no passion.
Well, she just wants to know that, like,
she's being supported, or I want to do something.
Exactly. She just wants to know that the significant other she's invested in is invested in like a life together that she wants. Yeah.
I got a question.
That really shook me to my core.
It should have.
And it really made me like reset myself. So I'm like, I gotta peak my professionalism. I gotta start mass applying to jobs that I actually have a chance at, instead of like shooting for the stars kind of deal.
And is it better now?
Oh yeah, it's way better. Absolutely. Good. I mean, we're both way happier. I'm happier that I'm working and not doing anything.
Yep. And contributing,
if that
and
makes
you guys
sense.
having
I'm actually
together.
Contributing to our relationship and our life and the house that we live in.
Yeah,
that makes me feel good.
You're having a life together rather than
right.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Good.
Did she ever threaten to throw you out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Are you kidding me?
I swear to God.
Yeah,
well, think about it. I moved down here.
That does not surprise me because.
I was unemployed
so
for 7 months.
Wow.
We are so in love.
You can
still,
yeah.
It wears someone thin when they feel like they're mooching off of you.
Exactly.
And that's what she felt like.
Yeah. I get that. It doesn't. It's not a testament to how much she loves Devin or doesn't love Devin. It's a matter of like, we are living together. We've established this. Get your shit together, or like I can't keep doing this.
And think about it. It's like this was the first time she's ever lived with a boyfriend. This is the first time I've ever lived with a girlfriend, and this was happening pretty much as soon as we moved in together.
Yeah, you're working.
She was willing, and a sweet, kind heart. She was willing to go 60 to 90 days, I believe,
Oh,
it might have been 30 to 60.
Bless her sweet,
of like
sweetheart.
right, of me like getting on my feet down here in Atlanta. I'm moving to a whole new state, whole new city,
Yeah.
and like for me to really get on my feet, but then I stretched it and things happened, and like for me personally, you don't realize it until shit really hits the fan.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
and you know what? I love you two together, and I love Anna, but she is a goddamn angel because I don't think I would have given any significant other that amount of time to get their shit together. Been like,
Yeah.
you get a job down here, and then you come down here. But you know what?
Yeah.
Well, he could
but
have.
I mean,
He could have
like,
worked for Home Depot, and he like refused to do it.
Yeah, because
I did.
he wants bigger things for himself, which is not a horrible thing.
I know
Way
it's
to
not.
go,
But then I got
Devin.
lost.
But I would
And then I
have
got
much
lost.
rather
I'm not
had a
ashamed to
job
admit.
and jacked off at that job, and while I was looking for another job, than like going in unemployed. And Devin knows this. I told him before he went
Yeah,
down
I
there.
know,
I was like,
but-
man,
but
I
isn't-
feel like you're making a
But
mistake.
isn't the argument that Anna probably wanted him to do bigger and better things, so she said, hey, come down here, figure out something bigger and better. And
So this is why I decided to part ways with Home Depot. I didn't want to move down here and work at another Home Depot and just get stuck, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, it takes effort to not
I mean,
get
I
stuck
get stuck
somewhere,
when I walk in Home
but-
Depot alone just looking for planter pots.
Because I just know that I would get consumed in it, and I'm not the type of person to like
Go outside
start a
of
new
that.
job
Yeah.
and then leave less than 6 months later.
Yeah.
So I just knew deep down in myself, like if I join Home Depot when I
Then
move down
you'd
here,
be there.
I'm gonna be stuck here,
And you're going to
Yeah.
just, yeah.
and that's another 2 years wasted of my life, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then,
I mean, good
you know,
for
it was
you.
definitely a growing experience for both of us.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm sure. You know, it's funny. You've obviously never mentioned that before. There were a few times
Well,
when
he
I
said he
thought to
hasn't.
myself, say what?
He said earlier that he hasn't talked to us about this.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just reiterating.
Are you?
Reiterating
like
that
it's-
obviously you've never talked about it before.
It sounds like you didn't hear that part.
No, I heard that. I'm reiterating it.
All right. We'll read it. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. You don't
You're
mind.
welcome. No problem.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So
What are you talking about?
I'm gonna
Let's
say.
do it. Keep going.
Oh yeah.
I'm listening.
All right.
Go for it.
You're gonna piss me off. I think it's interesting. As soon as you mentioned it, my first thought was I could remember back before you started working at Waffle House. There were probably a few times that we talked, and I could tell that like you might be depressed, or it looked like you were laboring. It looked like something was going on, because a lot of times I'd ask you, like, have you got a job yet? Have you got a job yet? And you'd be like, no. Like,
He's probably depressed. You keep asking about if he's gotten a job. He's like, fucking
no,
hell,
he's probably
Adam,
depressed
leave
because
me
his
alone.
fucking girlfriend, who's got a great job and who's gorgeous, was about to kick his ass out.
Uh-oh, Adam wants
Yeah.
Anna.
That's it.
Will you shut up? I said this tonight in a work meeting. Somebody was like, hey, I'm going on my 10-year anniversary. And I was like, yay, I'm super fucking happy for you. And he was like, thanks, dickhead. And I basically turned around. I was like, can we please all like talk about this for a moment? You're going on your 10-year anniversary. We're the same age. I am single. I have nobody. I have nothing. And I go, you know what's fucked? Is that I'm the common denominator in all of my failed relationships. And everybody was like, whoa, my God. Then my boss was like,
getting real.
my boss was like, hey, that's powerful. That's really powerful.
Powerful,
Like,
man.
shut the fuck up.
And he said,
I'm
he was
just
like,
sad inside.
don't get sad. He was like, he goes, I'm serious, man. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that before. He goes, that is the most self-aware thing I think I've ever heard. And I was like, yes, you're right. One day when I was in the shower, I realized that I am the common denominator in all of my failures. That was a very sobering moment. And I was like, here I am. Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, I'm in middle management. I'm so happy. Yay.
Adam suffers for all of us.
Say, well, I do. I suffer for all of you. Let's end this. I'm hot. Yeah, I'm sweaty.
Anyway, I'm glad I was able to open up to you and all of our listeners about mine and Anna's problems
look
when I
at you.
first
That
moved
was
down
nice.
here.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was good. It was a real thing that happens to basically fucking every relationship. I think that gets moving in together or codependent. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
new territory for everyone. Anyway,
Yeah.
this is Devin.
This is Adam.
This is Jamie.